and I'll call on you. Alexa?
Hey, Jazz. Can you just kind of take us through, from the player's perspective, what the last, I guess it was more than 24 hours, but just everything kind of has happened the last few days with hearing what happened with Kurt and Liz, and then hearing that he would be suspended, just how you guys as players have kind of dealt with it, and you personally kind of managed it all.
Just with conversations within our organization, as you can expect, we had a team meeting, we kind of had some open, honest conversation, addressed everything, held each other accountable. I think that's the biggest thing is, Kurt owned up to what he did. He, issued his statement, his sincere apology. He's been held accountable from the top down. Now we're focused on this next game. We got a lot of good things going on here. With this good start, we have a big one today. So just trying to focus, and especially on the anniversary of George Floyd's death, the biggest thing for us today is, shining light on really getting that George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed through the Senate. So it's a big call your senator game day for sure.
Are you all planning actions, or maybe you want to keep it, you'll talk about it more later, but are you all planning stuff around the game today regarding that?
As you know, through our Players Association, we're always unified as a league. There's always conversations about how we can best, use our platform, use our nationally televised games to really make the biggest impact. So all of us are kind of sharing that messaging, whether it's on social, in the media during the games. But I think the home team would usually take like the lead on that for whatever they might want to do. So I'm not sure what Seattle might have planned.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jazz.
Yeah.
Miles?
Hey, Jess.
Hey.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the impact of your teammate in the backcourt, Natisha Heidemann, who's gotten off to an incredible start this season.
Absolutely.
In 33 minutes, she's leading the team in plus minus, and she's been just an incredible tone setter on both ends. Could you talk a bit about her impact, especially with regards to her flexibility in starting or coming off the bench, depending on, if you're out or if there's injuries?
Right. It's tremendous. It's incredible, honestly, to see the confidence that she's come out with and earned it, deserves it. She's really playing well. We really, look to her to be productive. And, we've always known that she could be shifty. She's a scorer. She's a really talented offensive player. But I think what needs more attention is the energy that she's bringing on defense. I think she's up there in steals also in the league, just really buying into our principles. And, we're a defensive team. We want to hang our heads on defense, and she's been a big part of that as well. So, we just want to see her stay confident for a long season. There'll be some ups and downs, but she's right where she needs to be. And just for her to stay confident and keep playing well, we believe in her so much. It's really fun to watch her play right now.
Great, thank you. And I got one more for you. Going into tonight, it's still early, but you and Seattle lead the W in offensive efficiency as teams, but you both do it very differently. Like you said, your defense kind of sets the tone for your offense, whereas they're trying to push the pace and trying to catch opposing defenses out of position. How do you control for that and make sure you're managing the speed of the game so that you don't get trapped into playing their brand of basketball?
I think it's just going to be a game where both teams really want to take care of the ball. I know you say like we both do it kind of differently, but if you look at how they score in transition off the turnovers and bad shots, that's a big part of their offense. So I think it's going to be a night where both teams are really emphasizing value and possessions for sure.
Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Brendan?
Hi, Jazz. Just off that last point that you made about taking care of the ball, you're coming off a game where you only had 8 turnovers, which was a season low. I know this gets repetitive, but the lack of time together, at this point now you're 5 games in, but what do you attribute just how you've all been able to fit in here? Look, it's a long season. It's not going to go this well all year long, right? But
we hope so.
You hope so, right? Yeah, I'm not to say that it can't, but just how has the cohesion come? It feels when you watch games from afar, it looks like it comes with ease.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a few things. You know, we have a really good core here that's, you know, been part of this philosophy and these principles and this offenses in defensive philosophy for a long time. So, you know, terminology and all those things, they're easy. They, you know, from season to season, you remember them, you get refreshed to them. So that core group, we kind of, you know, set the tone from that standpoint. And then it's just really the maturity of our, you know, whether it's new pieces or young pieces. We have veterans, we have the younger players are really hungry to learn and get better. So it's just a credit to us holding each other accountable here and just our hungriness. We're playing really, really hard. And that starts, you know, in training camp. It was a competitive training camp. I heard that things were going well. I came late. But then, you know, you start in these games and just that hunger to want to set the tone, start well, play for each other. I think, you know, that's covering up a lot of the mistakes and the slippage. So, you know, it's a good way to start. But like you said, we're not comfortable. We know that there's going to be some adversity and we're going to have to fight through that. But for now, playing hard and playing together is going to take us a long way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa, you'll be the last question for Jazz.
This is kind of a big picture question, but I'm curious because Kurt always describes himself as a offensive minded coach. And yeah, especially like this season and even last season, you guys really hung your hat on your defense. And I'm curious, from the time that you've been in the organization, do you think defense has become more and more of the identity of the Connecticut Sun? And if so, if that's based off of personnel or, you know, just how that's changed over time? Because it seems like, you know, this year that's like the MO for you guys, especially.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely been more and more of an emphasis year after year. I think a big part of that is that we have a lot of defensive minded players who have leadership roles on this team. So it kind of sets the tone from that standpoint, but also just, you know, one affects the other. When our offenses isn't going well, we don't want to be a team that lacks on defense. So then, you know, a 5-point deficit turns into 10 to 15 to 20. So when we focus on that defense first and that being what we can hang our heads on, you know, it gives you kind of a freedom on offense. You feel a little freer. The ball flows more. It moves from side to side. It's more fun to play offense when you're locked in on D.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We'll go ahead and get started and open up some questions for Steph. Sarah?
Hi, Steph. So how do you believe that playing women's basketball at Maryland prepared you for the Sun and, you know, let alone being in the pros in general?
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, playing at Maryland, I think, was a big help. Coach B, she really prides herself on being able to prepare players for the next level. And I think that so far she's done a great job.
And what's it like to get to play with the other Maryland alumni on the Sun? Specifically, you know, your sister and then Kyla, who was in your class. Are things pretty different from the collegiate level?
Yeah, it's a little different just because, you know, it's the next level and everything's tougher. But I mean, it's been really great, like, especially with Kyla, she's been in the league for a year, and just everybody else having their years of experience in the league too. They've been a big help. So just having them there, I mean, it's been really great just to be able to have somebody there that I know that I can kind of lean on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how have you been learning from like Alyssa and the new recruit and your sister, who you didn't really get much time with at Maryland, but are now with you on the Sun?
Yeah. I mean, Alyssa's been great on the sideline because she's like, just like, she wants to be on the court. So she's been played an active role on the sideline, talking to people and like making sure that everybody's bringing energy, like we're playing the right way. And so, and then Bree too, just having that veteran leadership, knowing where to go, what to do on the floor. Yeah, so they've been a huge help with that.
Thank you.
Miles?
Hey, question for you, because it's this is your first game against a couple of the biggest names in the W, in Brianna Stewart and in Sue Bird. Are there any players in particular that you've kind of had circled on your calendar, like matchups that you really wanted to see, or players you've looked up to before you got to the W?
Yeah, one player I really looked up to growing up was Candace Parker. So yeah, I think that would be a really great game to play when we go to Chicago. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Brendan?
Hi, Steph. Just looking kind of off that same question about your playing days in college. What's it like being on the road as a WNBA player?
Mhm. Yeah, this week has been different just because I haven't had like a road trip where I've had 3 games back to back like that. So that's kind of different, but I mean, we do a great job of being able to prepare ourselves for the game and just focusing on recovery. And yeah, I mean, like there's a lot that goes into the preparation on the scout and everything. So I mean, we all feel really prepared for the games.
Yeah, I guess I'm sure you'll get more comfortable with it as it goes along, but do you find yourself trying to figure out how to make time pass, or do you have plenty on your plate to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, I definitely think that there's something throughout the day where you're pretty busy, or you just take advantage of your downtime just to relax. So yeah, I think everybody has something to do where they're either relaxing or preparing for the games or just doing anything.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Steph? I see Amani has joined in, so I'll give a second to see if there's any other questions. Amani, do you have a question for Steph? We're just about to wrap up with Media Avail, and Jazz already went. Okay, I guess not. You're all set. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Annette.
Thanks.